What if I told you that almost everyone who plays Risk is playing it wrong? Like actual rules, just completely ignored. And what if I also told you there's one sneaky little strategy that almost guarantees you'll survive longer than everyone else at the table, and most people never ever figure it out? Today we're breaking down exactly how to play Risk, the board game about world domination, from setup to strategy in the simplest way possible. No confusing rule books, no jargon, just straight up, here's how this works energy. We're talking setup, attacking, defending, the card system, continent bonuses, and the tips that will actually help you win. Whether you've never touched the board before or you've played 100 times and still kinda wing it, this video is for you. Stick around to the very end. Trust me on this one. Okay, so, Risk. What even is it? Risk is a strategy board game about world domination, like the whole world. You and your friends fight each other, use tiny plastic armies, roll dice, and try to take over every single territory on the map. It is chaotic, it is dramatic, and it has absolutely ended more friendships than Monopoly. Maybe. It's close. I'm just saying, go in with that knowledge. Know what you're agreeing to before you set up that board. The game was invented in 1957 by a French filmmaker named Albert Lamouris. Yeah, a movie director invented one of the most famous board games of all time. The guy made a movie about a kid with a balloon and then turned around and made a game about conquering the world. Respect, Albert. Risk can be played by 2 to 6 players. And I'll just say this now, a full 6-player game? Clear your Saturday. Maybe your Sunday too. Bring snacks. Bring backup snacks. You're gonna be there a while. Okay, here's what you're looking at when you open the box. The centerpiece is the board, a big map of the entire world. That world is split into 42 territories. Think of them like countries or regions, and those 42 territories are grouped into 6 continents. You've also got army pieces, little plastic soldiers, cavalry, and cannons. Each player gets their own color. You've got dice, you've got cards, and you've got a whole lot of potential drama sitting right there on the table. First, you shuffle all the territory cards and deal them out evenly to all the players. Whatever territory is on your card, that's yours. You put one of your army pieces on it to mark it. Once every territory is claimed, players take turns placing their remaining armies. How many starting armies do you get? It depends on player count. 3 players get 35 armies each, 4 players get 30, 5 players get 25, 6 players get 20. So the fewer players in the game, the more armies everyone starts with. And here's the first little strategy whisper I'll give you. Don't just randomly scatter your armies everywhere because you're excited. Stack up near the territories you want to hold. Think before you place, because once the game starts, things move fast. Hey, real quick before we keep going, if you're new here, welcome. This channel is all about making games simple. Board games, card games, party games, we cover all of it in plain English so anyone can jump in and start playing. No experience required. If that sounds like your kind of thing, hit that subscribe button right now and give this video a like. It genuinely helps more people find us, and it keeps us making more of these for you. Okay, back to world domination. Let's go. All right, armies are placed. Let's play. And here's the beautiful thing. Every single turn in Risk has the same 3 phases. Just 3. Get armies, attack, move. That's it. That's your whole turn, every single time. Phase 1, getting armies. At the start of your turn, you count how many territories you own and divide that number by 3, round down. So, 9 territories equals 3 new armies. 12 territories equals 4 new armies. You always get at least 3 no matter what. But here is where it gets really interesting. If you own every territory on an entire continent, every single one, you get bonus armies on top of that. And those bonuses are different for each continent. This is one of the biggest deals in the whole game. Those bonus armies sound small at first, but they stack up fast over many turns. This is why owning a whole continent is such a huge deal. You'll see experienced players fighting tooth and nail over Australia early in the game, and there's a very good reason for that. Phase 2, attacking. This is the phase everyone came for. You can attack any territory that is directly touching one of your territories, neighbors only. You can't just point at something across the map and declare war. Gotta share a border. Here's how the attack actually works. The attacker rolls up to 3 dice. The defender rolls up to 2 dice. You line them up highest to highest and compare. Whoever rolls higher on each comparison wins that matchup. Pretty simple on the surface, right? If the attacker wins a comparison, the defender loses 1 army. If the defender wins, or if there's a tie, the attacker loses 1 army. That tie rule is sneaky. It means defending has a slight built-in advantage. Attacking is never free. You can attack the same territory over and over as many times as you want until either you decide to stop or one side runs out of armies. If you wipe out all the defending armies, you take over that territory. Move your guys in. It's yours now. One rule that trips everyone up: you can never leave a territory empty. You always need at least 1 army sitting in every territory you own. And to launch an attack, you need at least 2 armies in your attacking territory. 1 attacks, 1 stays home. Phase 3, Fortify. After you're done attacking, you get one final move. Move any number of armies from one of your territories to another one you own, as long as there's a connected path of your territories between them. Think of it as repositioning your forces. Okay, the cards. Every time you conquer at least 1 territory on your turn, you draw 1 risk card. Cards have one of 3 pictures: infantry, cavalry, or cannon. Simple enough, right? Just collect them. But here's where it gets spicy. If you collect a set of 3 matching cards, like 3 infantry, or 1 of each type, you can trade them in at the start of a future turn for bonus armies. The first person to trade in gets 4 extra armies. Second trade gets 6, then 8, and it keeps going up. Late in the game, trading in a card set can get you 30, 40, even 50 bonus armies in one shot. That is completely game-changing. Keep a close eye on how many cards every other player has. If someone's sitting on 5 cards, they are about to explode. And if you completely eliminate another player, meaning you take over their very last territory, you inherit all of their cards. If that suddenly gives you 6 or more cards, you have to trade some in immediately. This card inheritance is one of the most dramatic moments in all of Risk. So, how do you actually win? In Classic Risk, you win by achieving total world domination. You own all 42 territories. Every other player has been completely eliminated. Last one standing, that's it. Simple goal, incredibly complicated to actually pull off. There are also versions of Risk where players have secret mission cards, like Conquer Asia and North America, or Eliminate the Red Player, and you win by completing your specific mission. But today, we're focusing on Classic Risk. Last one standing wins. Okay, let's talk about how to actually get good at this. Tip number 1, start with Australia. I cannot say this enough. Australia has only 4 territories, and there is basically only one way in, through a territory called Siam. Park enough armies at Siam and you can defend the entire continent from one single bottleneck. You get a free 2-army bonus every single turn. You're basically untouchable while everyone else is fighting each other. Turtle up in Australia and grow your strength quietly. Tip 2, don't spread too thin. New players always want to grab every territory possible because more territory feels like winning. But spread out armies are weak armies. If you've got 1 soldier in a dozen territories, any decent player will just roll right through you. Tip 3, watch the cards obsessively. You need to know how many cards every player has at all times. 5 cards means someone is about to trade in and get a massive army boost. If they're your neighbor, you need to act before that trade happens. Move first. Tip 4, don't make enemies you don't need. If you randomly attack someone who wasn't even coming for you, they will make your life miserable for the rest of the game. They will attack you. They will convince everyone else to attack you. They will remember. Pick your fights wisely. Tip 5, always protect your back. It's way too easy to attack, stretch out across the map, and then realize your home territories are completely undefended. Think about where other players will attack you on their next turn. Fortify before you charge forward. And honestly, that is risk. Setup, armies, attack, fortify, cards, continents, world domination. It sounds like a lot when you lay it all out, but once you sit down and play one single turn, it just clicks. And once it clicks, you will never get tired of this game. There are also a ton of risk variations out there. Risk Legacy, where the board permanently changes as you play. Risk Europe, Star Wars Risk, Lord of the Rings Risk, the list goes on forever. But the core rules we just covered, those apply to basically all of them at the foundation. And that's a wrap on how to play Risk. You've got the board, the setup, the 3 phases, attacking, the card system, the continent bonuses, and 5 legit strategy tips that will make you an actual threat at game night. No more nodding and hoping nobody notices you're lost. I want to know, are you an Australia turtle who plays it safe and builds up slowly? Or are you a charge in and attack everyone maniacal who goes all in from turn 1? Drop your answer in the comments right down below. I am genuinely curious which type of player you are. If you've got a friend or family member who always wins at game night, share this video with them. Tell them you just kind of already knew all of this. We've got your back. And hey, if this video helped you out at all, smash that like button. Subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We cover a new game every single week. Leave a comment because it helps the channel more than you'd think, and honestly, I love reading every single one. Thanks for watching How Games Work. I'll see you in the next one.